I've got about $1 million sitting between 5 properties right now. It's just like, who knows what's going to happen with our market. You know, we have some gurus telling us it's not going to crash. We have some gurus telling us it's going to be 2008 all over again.
From East LA to the hills of Rancho Cucamonga, I'm going to show you how I went from being broke to being rich. I got my buddy Ryan LaRue here. This man flips more properties than I can think of, and he's actually my business partner on our Airbnb Scottsdale property right near downtown. We're deciding what we're gonna do with it, but I'm excited. He was in town and stopped by the office to come visit, so I'm excited that we had a chance to hop on here and have a productive conversation for you guys to feed off of. Make sure that you hit like, subscribe, and comment below if you get value from this conversation. So Ryan, I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit. How long have you been flipping, bro?
Yeah, Ryan LaRue. I've been flipping, got in the game in 2009. So I bought a property, had no idea what I was doing, foreclosure. I was 21 and just kind of went for it. I lived in it, flipped it. Well, I flipped it without even knowing what flipping even was. So I got into it, lived in it, sold it like 2 years later. I was rich, dude. I made like 60 grand.
How old are you, bro?
I'm 33 now, but I was 21 then. And I made 60 grand and I thought I was so rich. So I bought another property and did the same thing. And then it turned into 2 and then 3. Next thing you know, I'm like flipping properties for myself, for other people, like as a contractor. And that contractor burned me out, man. I got taken for my money on that one. But
how long? So did you become a contractor right away when you discovered this newfound life?
No, I probably was in the game for 7 years before another investor approached me and says, "Hey, I do flips too. Can you do my flips?" Because by then I already had my employee network. I already had about 20 employees of my own, plus my subcontractors that were just doing my stuff. So then I started flipping other guys' properties, and then just kind of through word of mouth, I started joining like mastermind groups and meetups, and people started just kind of knowing me that that's what I do. So we would run anywhere from like, at the height of that, we'd probably run like 15 flips at a time. 12, 15 flips usually was kind of like where we were doing that. But then slowly over time, it was like, I was using my flips to basically pay for these guys' flips because they didn't even have the money to flip. You know what I mean? So it was like, next thing you know, that went on for about 2 or 3 years. And then I lost a lot of money doing that. I pretty much lost everything doing that. That all happened kind of came to a head at end of 2018, 2019. It just hit me and I was just like, dude, I can't do this no more. So I stopped being a contractor for people, had to pick myself back up, and then basically just started doing it on my own again, just 100% my own, me, my partners, and that's it. I don't do contracting for nobody else.
2 things that come to mind as you're sharing your story. So number 1, I think if you're going to be flipping houses like on your own, doing your own projects, I think it's really important that you have a network of employees, subcontractors, like people to get things done.
Yeah.
Because that's what I've struggled with. I've probably done, 2 hands full of flips, if that, in the last 2-3 years. And that's like the biggest challenge I see is number 1 is getting it rehabbed quickly and effectively or efficiently at a good price, like keeping your costs low. Yep. And then putting it on the market and hoping it doesn't sit there too long. So, trying to push it on the MLS. So with all those years of experience, I also think that losing money as a businessman in any business, it makes you fucking strong, dude.
Dude, if I could go back, I was talking to, it was the guy that I get my cars washed every week by this dude, but I was talking to him because he's kind of starting his own mobile detailing business. Yeah. He was talking about customers not paying him. And I'm like, dude, you either just got to break it away, because he'll go like weeks or even months without getting paid, because he does me weekly service. And I'm like, man, you got to got that off quick, because that's what happened to me. I believe these guys, oh, I'll get you in the next one, or I'll get you next week. And the next week turns into the next week. And next thing you know, I got one guy, he owes me like 180 grand still. And then like, I'll never forget this guy, it's because it's just like, it was 5,000 here, 2,000 there, 20,000 there. And it was just like, holy shit, this guy owes me $180,000, That's a lot of money to owe somebody, and then you see them sell these properties and they make a profit. you know, you could do the math and it's like, well, I'm the one that did the rehab. So I know how much you spent on rehab and
where's your money?
Yeah. Where's the money? You know what I mean? But he just kept, his money was spent. And that's the problem with flipping, dude. So many people, their money's spent before the money even comes. You know what I mean? They in their head, they're like, I'm going to make 30 grand, 50 grand, whatever. But the money's spent before they even get it, dude. And it's just, it's poor money management and poor time management, you know, across the board. And that's where
I'm gonna talk about something real quick that I haven't really shared publicly. I'm sure you know about it, but it's good for the audience to understand this, that it's not always sunshines and rainbows. That's what we just said right now when you walked in before we started filming. It's like, I have, you know, these 2 flips. I'm involved in a big lawsuit right now. Yeah. I'm the plaintiff. I'm the one suing. So I invested $150,000 on this big flip I was doing in San Juan Capistrano with this big Beverly Hills investor. And we're like at 90% done with it. And he just says, hey, we ran out of money. I need more money. I'm like, nah, I'm not putting up any more money. That's it. We agreed on something and it is what it is. Yeah. So he kicks me off the project and, you know, he's like, lawyer up. Okay. I got one of the best lawyers in fucking Cali, bro, in real estate litigation. Yeah. I also have $250,000 tied up in a Newport Beach flip that we were going to do. We were going to, these are both $1 million properties that we're going to put about $500,000 into, and we were going to sell them for $3 million. Yeah. So these are big multi-million dollar flips. So people don't realize, as a businessman, no matter what industry you're in, but especially in real estate, you're dealing with big money. Dude, I got $400,000 tied up in the last 12 months. Yeah. That's a lot of fucking money, dude. I've already spent, bullshit aside, I've already spent $40,000, $50,000 in attorney's fees suing this fucker.
Yeah, it's not even close.
So and this is what's going to end up happening is who has a better, you know, legal staff, who has a better attorney, and we're going to run out of money first.
Who's going to put more money in?
That's what it's going to come down to.
I'm in a lawsuit I've been doing for 4 years. I've been doing this for 4 years since, well, almost 4 years. It'd be like 4 years in September. Same shit, dude.
Yeah.
4 years been drug.
This is the ugly side that people don't realize, though. So, you know, with that said, though, let me ask you, about how many flips do you think you've done in 12 years you've been flipping houses, right?
Yeah.
How many flips do you think you've done, and how much do you think you've actually made? How much do you think you've grossed and netted?
So it's hard to say because some of those, a lot of flips were not mine. They were like maybe like partners flips, or not necessarily partners, but even like flips for other people. You know what I mean? So I always just kind of, there for like probably a solid 4 or 5 year period, I just kind of, they were all just, to me, they're all just houses. Like I don't get attached to them. So like I've probably done actual flips, not wholesales or anything, probably close to 250, over 250.
250 flips?
Yeah. So that's my own and for other investors. So I couldn't, to be honest, I couldn't even tell you how many were mine, but I probably do, the last few years, I probably do 20 a year that are my own. So probably 20.
If you had to put a guesstimate on it, like how much do you think you've made, you know, gross and net in the last 12 years and in the last couple of years? Because it takes a long time to actually like get the experience to be able to be sharp enough to like really profit. Yeah. You know?
It does, dude, because so I think like 1 year that stands out to me is 2017. We grossed about $5 million just in the flips. But I bet I net, like my net was garbage. I bet it was probably 200,000. Yeah. But it was just because money's just going. That's the thing about flipping. It's cash intensive, dude. It's like, you know, that was a bad year. Just like stuff was just going.
People don't realize that. Yeah, they don't talk about that. Yeah, that's brutal honesty right there.
Yeah, and so I remember doing my taxes for 2017, and I was like, holy shit, man, because I had no idea, man. I didn't have a bookkeeper, so I was my own bookkeeper. I did all this stuff myself, so it was like, which is also a stupid move, you know, like. I learned it from my buddy Pace. He's like, hire a bookkeeper. Like that's the best thing, you know. Like, you gotta have a bookkeeper. But I didn't have a bookkeeper. I did it all myself. I had a million Excel spreadsheets, and when I put it all together, I was like, holy shit! Like no way! Like we did over $5 million in revenue. You know,
where's all the money?
Where's all the money? And you start looking, and it's like, I've got $50,000 tied up in this guy that didn't pay me back. I've got $100,000 in this guy. You know what I mean? It's and it starts easily like. I mean, even if you ran on like, say, 10% profit, 10% of $5 million, that's 500 grand. That's still a lot of money. You know what I mean? Or really, if you're trying to, you know, it should be more like 20% at least. So even 20% of 5 million, I should have made $1 million that year. But dude, we made, it was just under 200 grand. And it's like, holy shit, dude, that's when it hits.
That's a couple of things that I've brought up before. It's like, I don't care if you make $1 million in 1 month.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed. So what is your net? Like, what's your net, dude? Did you make $1 million and did you net 10 grand?
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, you're just a hype. Like, what are you really doing?
Because that was me, dude. It's like, I could have said, yeah, I made $5 million this year. And it's like, holy shit, you made a lot of money. And we did make a lot of money. A lot of money came in, but then a lot of it went right back out, you know, because I remember having a week, I collected a check for $90,000 and I was like, holy shit. And that was like the first time I ever made like that much money in 1 week.
In one shot.
In one shot. You know, I was like, holy shit, dude, I made this money. It took me it was like 8 days it took me to make that money. And I got that check and I was like, holy shit, 90 grand. And dude, it was gone. Like it was gone out of my account faster than it went in. You know what I mean? It was just like, and it's stuff like that. It's like, it's super cash intensive. It doesn't matter if you're flipping, you're wholesaling, it's a cash intensive business. And it's like, you got to be able to produce, man. And so I've been up, been down, up. And that's the part about flipping. It's a lot of ups and downs, dude. So,
well, and I don't want to get people confused thinking that wholesaling is all sunshines and rainbows either, though.
It's the same.
Because, you know, I'm more of a wholesaler than I am a flipper than anything else, right? I'm actually more of a bill collector than anything else. But I'll come back to that in a second because you brought up, you know, we're talking about gross versus net and people need to hear this. There's a lot of curious people out there that are wondering, if my debt collection organization does $1.5 million a month, what does Mike make? I'm about to drop it on him right now. So I'm going to share it with them. But coming back to the wholesaling side, so I'm more of a wholesaler than a flipper. So somebody in your shoes that is more of a flipper than a wholesaler, you know, you look at wholesalers and you're like, fuck, I need to do that because that guy has no bills and he's keeping all the profits. That's not the case. That's not the case. So, you know, being brutally honest, and I want my YouTube channel to be known as giving raw data and giving like the real nitty gritty. You know, this month it's June 30th, 2022. We did just a whisker under $200,000 gross in wholesaling this month. So you would think, you know, that's very, very respectable. You know, I know in this market at this particular stage, it's not that easy to do that. It's not that easy to do 200K. So I think we closed on maybe 7 deals, if I'm not mistaken, 7 or 8 deals this month to make that money. So we had some small ones, we had some big ones, whatever. But we also have a lot of expenses. So I'll touch on that real quick, since, you know, we're talking about flipping is you know, that industry has a lot of glory, but they don't see the dirty side where how labor intensive it is, how expensive it is to make that money. So just for example, we have about $30,000 in marketing. You know, I pay my
month.
Well, just this month, you know, it fluctuates. Sometimes it's a little lower, sometimes it's more. But just talking about this month, you know, I have a team, you know, we have just base salaries about 10, 15 grand. Plus I also pay decent commission. So yeah, we were very profitable. Not every month is like this though. I have months where you know, we're at $20,000, $30,000 in expenses, even 40, and we're barely clearing 100 grand. And I'm being brutally honest. It sounds like, damn, you still made 50,000 at a certain level, bro. That's not a lot of money anymore. You know, and you know, coming back because I really want people to take value from this conversation. And I know there's a lot of people that follow me on Instagram that they want to know when I'm out there hyping up that I'm making $1.5 million in debt collections a month, they're like, fuck, Mike, you made $1.5 million? Like, damn, no wonder you have all those cars, you know? Like, no wonder. Nah, I am not keeping $1.5 million in my pocket. That's not how this works. But I will tell you that conservatively, I'm at about a 20% net profit margin in debt collections. So if you guys want that number, if you're horrible at math, it's about 300 grand that we're netting. right? So there you have it. Those people that want to know if I'm making, you know, $1.5 million a month, what am I really making? Is it all a hype? There's your numbers. So coming back to flipping, and I know that now, you know, we became friends at a mastermind in last December. Chris Root's mastermind. Yeah. No, it wasn't December. It was in the summer of last year. September. Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, since then we bought a house together in Scottsdale. We've done a few deals together in wholesaling, where we kind of leaned on each other to make some money. I think we've cleared like 3 deals, maybe $100,000 or something like that.
Yeah, I think four maybe. Yeah,
might have been 4 deals.
Yeah.
So what's your plan right now, bro? What are you looking to do? Are you looking to transition more into wholesaling?
Yeah, definitely going forward. We just ramped up our marketing. So we went from 5 cold callers to 7. Now as of starting on Monday, we're gonna have 10 cold callers. So we're kind of doubling down on marketing, pushing forward for wholesaling. Just because our market's crazy right now. So I don't really want to be tied up in any flips. I've got 5 flips going on right now, kind of the Phoenix, Scottsdale area. And it's, like I said, they're cash intensive. I think I told you this on the phone the other day, but there's a million, I've got about $1 million sitting between 5 properties right now. It's just like,
that's nuts.
And we don't know where it's going to be, you know what I mean? Where our market's going to be. So it's like, I would love to get that money back out. Obviously anybody would, but get the money out, kind of put it on the sidelines for now. Wholesale, you know, we got hedge funds. We've got some people still buying. It's a little bit sketch right now, but you know, so I'm doing more wholesale, but it's about pivoting. You know, I'm working on creative financing, learning that. So just kind of have more tools in the tool belt. It looks like we're going to do an ovation in Ohio.
That's cool.
So different things, like just kind of get a pivot, you know,
have to, and that's what a businessman does. That's what an entrepreneur does.
Yeah.
So let's share with the viewers our plan for our Scottsdale property. We're going to talk numbers real quick. We acquired that property for $490,000.
No, 465, 485.
485.
485.
Because I got 490 in my head, so I think it might have been 485.
Yeah.
What did we put in rehab? Like 30?
We're in 32.
32,000.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful house. Beautiful house.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. The way it came out, bro. Yeah. Very proud. So that property, what's the ARV right now? About 800 maybe with this market?
Yeah.
It was at 850.
But yeah, it's starting to come down. So that's tough because comps right now, people are fire selling the properties. You know what I mean? So if you look at some of these comps, like I just saw one sell for $600,000, and it didn't have a pool like ours has. It fronted a main road. So there's like some variables there, but $600,000, and I'm like, they just fire sold it. You know, like they're panicked out of the market. And that's the problem we're having with sellers. They're kind of jacking up our comps because you do have people that are literally just hitting the panic button and just selling another house because who knows what's going to happen with our market. You know, we have some gurus telling us it's not going to crash. We have some gurus telling us it's going to be 2008 all over again.
We don't know. We don't know what we don't know.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, we got weird. 10 contracts this week, and it's Thursday. It's not even Friday yet.
Yeah.
So I think what's happening with my particular wholesale company is we're being very aggressive right now in the marketing channels that attract motivated sellers.
Yeah.
My acquisitions are skilled the f up right now. They're just beasting. And number 3, the sellers are panicking.
Yeah.
So all this is causing us to just get contracts. We're literally averaging 2 contracts a day right now. So one thing I will say is me, myself personally, I'm also not looking to take down any flips at this time.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a crazy, crazy deal, then I might consider it, but I'm not looking to do any flips.
If you can refi out of it and hold it like worst case scenario, like for ours in Scottsdale, you know, we're in the middle of trying to refi, or, you know, do we refi? Do we sell? We're kind of at that pivot point where it's like we can do both and make money doing both. But what's the best, you know, best exit? But some properties, man, they're so over leveraged, you can't refi it. You can't, you know, there's a lot of people underwater. You know, I just had a conversation with the guy right before I came here. He flipped a property, and I don't know what he was thinking because I actually looked it up. He asked me for my opinion, and he's about $200,000 above market value right now. That's what he's trying to sell it for. He bought it at market value, put $100,000 into it.
That's horrible.
And you have a lot of people like that because a year and a half ago that might have worked out for him. People, you could throw a dart and make money in this industry, but I think he was kind of shooting for the stars, thinking I would just buy any piece of shit house on the market, put $100,000 into it. I'm like, dude,
that's the inexperience.
Yeah.
So here's so the viewers understand. Here's where we're at with the Scottsdale property. We have a hard money loan on it since that's going to expire. There, right?
Yeah, we have August 1st.
August 1st.
Yeah.
So we have a decision we got to make very quickly. Now, for us to be able to refinance, we can do it, but the interest rates are getting higher and higher, which means that our mortgage payment's going to be higher. And even though it's an Airbnb and we might be able to gross quite a bit, what we're focusing on, again, this whole conversation that we've been having is the net. Yeah. That's what matters. So does it benefit us to refinance it and get a traditional investor loan at a high interest rate with a high mortgage payment? Yeah. Or should we just sell it off quick? And I know that we'll be able to bitch slap anybody that we're competing with on the listing because our house is just nicer. Yeah. It's better rehab. It's in a good location, has a pool. Tulum. We made a Tulum theme. Yeah. So
you should post like pictures.
Yeah.
The video.
Yeah. We'll throw some pictures up there too, so you guys can see that. But that's the decision that we're in. So I think right now a good plan of attack is just listing it, staging it, and seeing what we can get for it. Yeah. And at the same time, maybe just start the refi process in case, so you got to always be prepared from every angle.
From multiple exit strategies. Yep. Yeah.
So you're going to definitely focus more on wholesaling right now for the next 6 months.
Yeah. I mean, you got to. I think I think anybody buying properties that flip right now, they're playing with fire. You know what I mean? Unless you said unless you get a steep discount where it's like, I can afford to have it sit on the market if it has to sit for 3 months before it sells, or I can refi out of it and keep it as a rental. But otherwise, you're playing with fire, man, because our refi, like we're talking about, we're going to refinance it if we do at like a 6.5%, 6.75% interest rate. That's a deal killer for most properties.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so luckily we bought it at a low number, and short-term rental, Airbnb money can probably offset that, and we probably do all right, but we're not going to do great like what we anticipated.
If we list it right now and we stage it and we maybe put it at 800 or 790, we could still each net $100,000. Yeah. So that's probably the plan right now. Just it was a nice little flip for us. So we just gotta move quick on it. And the power of relationships is that now I know what direction he's going, and we have history. Yeah. So what I'm going to do on my side is I'm going to guide you on the strongest marketing channels. I'm going to help you, kind of structure your wholesale department. Yeah. And then I'll have my acquisitions work with your team to show you what's working for us. And then what we'll do in return, because I'm going to be brutally honest once again. It's hard to sell deals right now. Yeah. Wow. So I'm building a dispo team. We're getting our dispo department just fucking super strong. So I'll be able to help you sell your deals the way we've been doing. Yeah. And hopefully, we can get your wholesale department up to at least doing 100, 200 grand.
That'd be sick, man.
So
yeah, because we're right now we're easy because I still do deals in Arizona, and then we have the ones on the East Coast. We're easy 50 to 80 grand a month. Can't break above that 100, but it comes with marketing expenses, and it comes and to even be like we always talk about being like a sniper with our acquisitions, right? So it's but it's tough,
you don't want to be sloppy if you can't afford to.
You're right.
So I'm able to take more risks than a lot of other people are, because I have a very strong debt collection agency organization that can sustain and help my other business. I have a strong data company. Yeah. I'm bitch slapping everybody right now. Skip racing, bro. No one can compete with me.
Dataskip.io.
Dataskip.io. So I'm able to take more risks, and I'm able to be a little sloppier in certain areas than other people. But if you're not, stay conservative. Yeah. Stick to what's working and stay in the safe zone. And you just got to buckle down and don't be sloppy with your marketing or with your structure. That's what I think you're missing. You're missing structure.
Totally.
Structure. So you got to get everything dialed in little by little, do it the right way, and then go hard on investing in marketing. You don't want to waste marketing dollars if you're not in that position. Yeah. I'm able to experiment. I'm open about it. I got YouTube commercials that I'm doing. I started some mail campaigns. I'm heavy on PPC right now, heavy cold calling. So we're you know, but I'm able to do that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of other people are not able to experiment like that, especially right now. We're already in a fucking recession.
Yeah.
So people don't realize it yet.
100%.
But we're gonna figure it out. So I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming down. Thanks for coming to visit us. And let's keep making money, bro.
On the spot.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
Guys, Ryan LaRue, what's your Instagram handle?
At LaRue, LARUE 510. LaRue 510.
Make sure you guys go give him a follow, and make sure that you guys hit like, subscribe, and comment below. If you took value from this conversation, I sure as hell hope you did. See you next time. Thank you.